get money into the hands of these 4 candidates that we have here tonight. It's very important for me to have a gavel is to get these 4 guys into the Senate with me. Tim Pitcher, he's going to new Dave Thompson. We're losing Dave Thompson, but we're going to get a good guy to replace him in Tim Pitcher. Mike Goggin, we're going to take down Matt Schmidt. Mike Goggin is going to be the senator in Redmond. Paul Anderson, he is the much improved version. He's the much improved version of Terry Lunde. And conservative. Terry's about this tall and shrinking. And then we have Jeff Lunde, the mayor of Brooklyn Park. I like all of them, but Jeff's probably going to be one of my favorites because he's going to take down invasive carp John Hoffman. John Hoffman felt it was so important for the legislature to change Asian carp to invasive carp because Asian people didn't like having carp named after them. We have a couple of legislators here, or one more legislator here tonight. Representative Uglem. Hey. Senator Manley, we'll talk to in a minute. I got to go wash his car. I'm a freshman, so he's the boss. But with us tonight is our congressman here in the 3rd Congressional District, running for re-election. I'm glad he's here, and he's here to support us as Republicans and our candidates. Big round of applause for Erik Paulsen.
Real quick, first I want to thank Dave for helping put together all of you to be here to help 4 outstanding candidates, because we want to give it hand the majority leader in the Senate. That's really critical. I'm a House guy. Coming out of the House, you got the majority, but look, I mean, if you really want to be able to draw some distinct lines of policy, have a chair, have a majority leader, you got to have the Senate back in our control. And I think we can do it. I really do. And it's not because Terry Bonnet's leaving to run against me. It's because we have really good candidates. And I know that Paul Anderson, I've known Paul for 20 years, right? And he's rock solid, and he is going to do an outstanding job. He will win this seat back. We've had this in our deficiency for 10 years. We haven't had this seat. He will win the seat back. Jeff Lunde, nobody knows nuts and bolts politics better than he does. He won a special election in Brooklyn Park as the mayor. That's a tough area. This is the biggest Democratic town or city in my district. And it's not a friendly territory to me, to any Republican, but he proves you can win it. And so I'm pretty excited to have him running for state senate now. And I had a chance to meet both Tim and Mike, who are just outside the district, but these are seats we have to win. You're running to replace a Republican. Yes. And that's no slam dunk, because he was just telling me he's running against a fairly popular mayor in Lakeville who doesn't like to say he's a Democrat, and he's going to try and sneak in. So we just got to make sure he gets elected. And Mike, by the way, the reason I like Tim too, medical devices, engineer, background, medical device technician, this guy knows that stuff. And you want business people like that in the legislature. And Mike's a project manager down at the Prairie Island Nuclear Plant.
Electrical engineer.
Well, and grew up in Red Wing, and his family has a long history in Red Wing, with Red Wing shoes, his parents, his father, very involved in the community. It's a solid, good name to have down there. But I think what's most important, I've been doing a lot of phoning over the last couple weeks because you have to raise a lot of money, right? And our budget's kind of doubled just because of the nature of outside money coming in. And it's a little bit like 2008, we had a lot of outside money come in, but we had a lot of outside money coming in because they promised a lot to run up to run. But it's interesting, when I talk to people now, there are so many business people, entrepreneurs, people who have helped build this state that are throwing up their hands. I'm moving to Florida. I'm moving to Texas. I don't want my grandkids or my kids to be here and grow up in this environment. And it's really sad to hear. It's terrible. And so, you read the Star Tribune news story just a couple weeks ago trying to say it's not the truth. It's not accurate, right? People aren't even. It is true. I'll tell you, it's really going to catch up with us. And it's going to hurt our state. We're going to be a lot more efficient if that happens. And the national level, Trump's a wild card, all right? Right?
Yes, I understand.
All right. But I will say this, is that the most important component for this election is the Supreme Court. Yeah. All right? Because we're talking not 4 years, we're talking about a generation of decisions. And who would have thought that Scalia's passing away would put us in this position right now? So we are really about electing the next Supreme Court for 1 to 3 appointments. I mean, that is significant, and we need to pay attention to that. It's the importance of unifying, despite some of the differences. That doesn't mean we shouldn't call out any candidate when we don't agree with their position, because nobody agrees on everything. But it is really important to unify, because I think Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, look, they got their own issues in that party. If Bernie wins California, that feud is going to continue all the way to their convention. We got to leverage it, take advantage of it. And I think Republicans can do really well in Minnesota. Stuart Mills is running hard. Klein leaving leads an open seat, so there's a little turmoil there in the 2nd district. But those are the two races I think that are getting the most attention outside, of course, with the 3rd with Pelosi putting in all the money. But if you want to see real tax reform, Speaker Ryan is pretty committed to saying, look, let's go bold. Let's just go with the postcard tax reform system for individuals. Let's keep it really simple, right? If we're going to be able to do that type of an agenda, do welfare reform 2.0. We had the first hearing in 10 years in the Ways and Means Committee a week and a half ago. If we want to see that enacted, you've got to keep the House Republican. You've got to keep the Senate Republican. You've got to have someone at the top of the ticket that appreciates and understands constitutional authority, doesn't circumvent Article I powers at every stage. That's exactly what's happened with this president. And one thing I'm really proud of, the court came out a few weeks ago and announced and ruled against the administration for moving billions of dollars around with Obamacare, something we've been saying they've been doing literally for years, right? And it was the first time in history where the House had standing and won a court case under Article I. Article I power saying Congress makes the laws, we decide where money is appropriate, that's not up to the president. On page 9 of the decision, my name is referenced for a speech I gave on the House floor pointing out this exact issue. So someone was paying attention. So the courts, unfortunately, when you have the judicial system and the courts have ruled against Obama on immigration, a number of different policies, it takes too long, right? In the meantime, the damage is done. The regulatory environment has squashed small business. It's hampered the economy. And I just want to see growth. I want to see people back at work. I want to see wages go up. I want to see prosperity happen. And we can do that with the Minnesota State Senate, the Minnesota House, get things back on track. I will do whatever I can to help these candidates, because as a former legislator, I know how important that is. So they're committed. They're going to do what they need to do. Your resources are going to help as well. So thanks for having me here. Erik, thanks for Erik.
All right.
We got him for just a few minutes, so we appreciate that. We also have with us the minority leader of the state senate, soon to be the majority leader, David Hann.
Thank you all for being here, and Dave, thanks for putting this together. I know it's a lot of work, and Erik, he's been my state rep for a while now. He's my congressman, and I really appreciate all the work you've done. And he does know how important it is to have majorities in the state legislature. And let me tell you something. We are in the Senate 6 seats away from being in the majority, 6. And you've got 4 of those 6 right here in this room. 4 of them. And there's a couple more. We've got Leroy Stump, who's been in the Senate for 36 years up in northern Minnesota. He retired a month or so ago. A very Republican district. We've got a great candidate there. And we've got at least 10 other winnable races in this state. So we are very excited. We are very positive about our chances to take back the majority. I have to tell you, it's been a little bit of a challenge the last few days. You've probably been watching or hearing about what's been going on over in St. Paul. Didn't quite get all our work done, but you know what? For you candidates running against the Democrat incumbents, it's an easy sell. What happened in St. Paul this year? They didn't pass a bonding bill. They didn't pass a transportation bill. They weren't even able to get a tax bill done correctly. Because the governor is good for his threat, they know that. But we have got to hold these people accountable. We've got to hold them accountable. Our state has taken a very dramatic turn to the left under this administration. People don't realize this, but 42 of the last 44 years, Democrats have been the majority of the state Senate. So when people say, well, don't you think having some kind of a balance in state government is a good idea? And I say, yes, it is. And you know what? If we get 40 more years of Republican majorities in the Senate, we'll be balanced. The next 4 years will be the first 4 of that 40. That's our goal. But we need to get this ship back on the right track. We have had a very anti-business, anti-economic activity regime over here in St. Paul, the taxes, the regulations, and we can change that. And the guys in this room, these candidates who are running, and the other men and women around the state that are on our team, we're going to do that. I'll make you a promise. You will see a difference having a state legislature that's run by Republicans rather than Democrats. But it is going to take a lot of work. And so I hope all of you are here, are not just going to be here and nothing else. Help these people out. Write more checks if you can. Be willing to door knock with them. Put up signs. Help them. I can tell you it's a lonely business out there, going around door to door, walking those streets all summer long. It starts now. It doesn't end until November. Help them out. Show them some support. Pray for them. Call them up. Ask what you can do. But don't let this be the last political activity you do for the year. So thanks for being here. Thanks for coming out to support these great candidates. Really encouraging to me and the others to see so much enthusiasm here. And we just appreciate all you're doing. I'll just tell you something. We're going to make sure that that enthusiasm and that commitment to help us is going to be returned when we see the majorities in the room. So thank you. Thanks for being here. I'm not going to be able to stay. I've got another event to go to, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Because we don't want to keep listening to politicians all day. These are the guys who aren't politicians who want to be politicians. So we'll start with the closest one to my right hand, which is Tim Pitcher. He's replacing Dave Thompson. So he's replacing a Republican. We're losing a great Republican, but I know we're going to replace him with an equally, I hope, great Republican. Tim Pitcher from Birmingham. 2 minutes.
Thanks, everybody. I've had a long career in medical device and defense engineering. I'm a giver. I've developed products that saved hundreds of thousands of people's lives. I'm a very principled conservative. Senator Dave Thompson is very principled. Well, so am I. He's a good friend of mine. I helped him out immensely when he ran for governor. And if you have any questions or anything like that, I'm just here for as long as you need me to be. And like I say, definitely I would be happy to wash cars as a freshman. I'd love to wash the last cars. Thank you very much.
I'm getting really bad hands on with the number one is Mike Goggin down in the Red Wing area. We're going to get rid of Matt Schmidt, and this is going to be this is one of the 6 that we have to have.
Okay, folks, I'm Mike Goggin. I'm from Red Wing. Married for 25 years. Beautiful wife, Pam. I have 2 boys, David and Dylan. My oldest one, David, just graduated from Angelo State University in Texas with a degree in chemistry. He's going into a PhD program at the School of Mines in Golden, Colorado. I just came back from Cary, North Carolina. He was on the baseball team, and his team made it there twice to the World Series for Division II baseball. Didn't do too well for the team. They lost in 2 games, but he did get the NCAA Elite 90 award, which goes to the student athlete at the tournament with the highest GPA. So I'm huge into education. My mom and dad always taught us to invest in yourself, and the best way to do that is get educated. Okay? That's why when I was 38 years old, I had a midlife crisis, went back to school and got an electrical engineering degree to go along with my business degree from Gustavus Adolphus College. But my whole thing is I come from a family where we work with the community, we get involved with the community. I was on the Red Wing Soccer Club as the president. I was on the Booster Club. I've been involved with anything with the kids for school. My wife and I got involved with it. My dad was very involved with the community. Past president of the Red Wing Chamber of Commerce, past president of Minnesota State Chamber of Commerce. He worked for the shoe company, but he's on a lot of different charity boards, which all I've done in the family. So my whole thing is I want to put the public servant back in public service because we're missing that. Many people are going to go there, be citizen legislators, get the people's work done, and then go back to our own jobs, be productive members of society. So that's what I want to do. I want to lower taxes for everybody. I want to lower the taxes on businesses, get rid of the warehousing taxes, get rid of the taxes that are just strangling our businesses. I work at a nuclear power plant. I see what happens every day with all the regulations that we have to deal with, and it is just way too much for businesses to handle. So that's what I want to do.
All right.
Next one we'll do is the new and improved version of Terry Bonoff, as I've been saying all night long, Paul Anderson.
That's good. My name is Paul Anderson, and many of you are friendly faces because I I would suggest that this is an opportunity to pick up a seat that should never have gone to the Democrats in the first place. They've had it for 11 years. Terry's kind of disguised herself as pro-business and fighting against the unions on the education. But I grew up in this district. I went to high school at Wayzata. We raised our family. My wife Jamie and I have two girls, 9 and 11. I've got great experience in this district. I was Congressman Ramsted's district director and ran 2 campaigns in this district. I was Governor Plain's deputy chief of staff, so I know the system. I know the legislature. I know I can hit the ground running and help these guys get in and get stuff done. I've got some other additional background with my friend Lieutenant Colonel Alex Plekish. We ran a national nonprofit, Teed Up for the Troops, which does still raise money for wounded veterans and their families. So I've got a lot of experience, a lot to bring to the table, but I need friends. I need a lot of help. This is going to be a very, very targeted district, like many of the friends here. But you're close. You can take the north side around the lake or the south side of the lake and come help. So I just ask you, anything you can do, both financially and your time, we need it. This is a center-right district, but they're going to come with everything. It's going to be knocked down, drag out fight. And I'm prepared. I've done this before. And as a candidate, I will stand up and keep moving forward in the end of November. So thank you.
Last up, Jeff Lunde, Mayor of Brooklyn Park. So I think every good speech is sort of a confession. My confession is this: I don't raise money well. So I'm going to do it right off the bat. This is my commitment to being a better candidate. Because if it comes to door knocking, I'm not going to get out knocking. If it comes to lawn signs, I'm not going to get out sign. If it comes to out talking, out working, or out hustling, I will be done up when it comes to that. And I do love gifts, and he's given me plenty. So I do ask for your help tonight. Because I've seen up top, I always go to Maple Grove, and I say, come next door. It's safe seats there. We need your help in Brooklyn Park. We'll be at one of those seats. I will see plenty of Minneapolis Federation of Labor people coming up to my city this summer. Guaranteed, I've seen them. They arrive in vans. 24 volunteers. Try that out. You're out by yourself when you're going out. And so if you come here tonight, you've come this far, I would ask for your donation, and your support. And I will make it work. There's one thing I do well, that's win. Mine isn't a center-right. Mine's a center-left district. It's mostly Democrats. I won 60% of the vote last time. I won 73% of the vote in the part of Brooklyn Park that's going to be voting for state senate. I will take back Champlin. I will take Coon Rapids. The day that my opponent decided that Southwest, this is a first. If you're going to draw a line in the sand, I've never seen someone draw it behind their senate district. Usually you like to draw it in front. Yeah. He drew it behind. He voted against all the projects in Coon Rapids and Milwaukee County because Southwest Light Rail was more important than that. And I thank him for that gift. He gave me one. I am going to hold him to that. I do nothing but I work and knock, and there's lots of Brooklyn Park people here. You will know one thing, and that's that I do not stop campaigning. I will campaign all night, and people don't believe me, ask some Brooklyn Park people. You can tube at night. There's a great way to campaign. So I intend to take the fight to them. One thing that I do, I think that's unique among Republicans, is I win minority votes. Brooklyn Park is so diverse that we have a Republican mayor. It's mostly non-white. And I will take a good number of those votes from my opponent because I know what it means to take Republican ideas and go to people who are here because they're chasing the American dream. 20% of my city is foreign-born. I beat a person who was African-American. 60-40 shots, maybe 8-1. I did it by one thing and I knocked her. All I did was I'll talk and I'll listen to people. So I would ask for your support tonight. I would ask for your kind donation. If you're looking for a good walk on a Saturday afternoon, I would ask to come join me because I can give you a great area so we can go and knock and have fun. So thank you for coming today. Representative Uglem would like to have just a couple seconds to talk.
Guys, I just want to say, follow Jeff Lunde here. I used to be mayor of Champlin, okay, right next door to Brooklyn Park. And if there's one guy that can win Champlin, Brooklyn Park, and the part of Coon Rapids, which I represent, it's Jeff Lunde, okay? It's been a Democratic seat for a long time. John Hoffman has alienated many, many people in our town for some of the things that he has done. The seat is right for the taking. A normal Republican would have a difficult time. A conservative Republican would have a difficult time. Jeff's mentioned the fact of the diversity of Brooklyn Park and everything else. This guy can win, and he's a good Republican. And he's always been in good standing with our Senate district, and he works hard. And I know that because of his campaign experience and his name recognition, this is the most serious threat that John Hoffman has ever faced, and he is very afraid of Jeff Lunde. So if the state Republican Party and all of our big donors can get behind this guy, we can pick up that seat. Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Definitely, if you can give. If you can't give more. I know some people in the room can afford it. Please give what you can to these guys, because the only way we get to a majority is by doing events like this. And we're going to be doing events on boats. We're going to be doing it not on light rail trains. Well, we're going to be doing events all summer that we can do to make the money because that is the mother's milk of politics, unfortunately. This is the part of the game, and Jeff doesn't like fundraising, and I hate it myself, but it's part of the game. It's part of how we win. So, again, thank you for being here tonight. There will be envelopes all over the place. If you want to take one home and send more money later, that's great too. But please finish up the beer. I don't want to have to take any beer. It goes bad in my house. And grab some more food, and I appreciate you coming here tonight. Thank you so much.